no shame. Try and come at me with that. I don't care. Tell me you're neurodiverse without telling me you're neurodiverse. A 31-year-old struggling to make and keep a routine for myself. Not just, what do I want to do today? And like, you know, pick. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Jolly good? That nobody can deny. Welcome back to the June P Show. I've got my coffee here. Praise be, the sun is out. It has been a minute. It has been a sec. I'm excited to be here with you guys. While I've been away, I've been working on lots of, well, I've been busy, but also I've just been like idea curating and creating and brainstorming and building foundations, I feel like, and filling in holes, and I don't know, I'm just like choosing to put passion behind like what excites me right now and leave the rest. And it's been very exciting and fun and fresh, and I'm excited to see where it heads. It's spring now. It's officially spring finally, and I'm beyond ready, but it's gotten me out of the house a little bit more, got a little more sunshine on my skin, a little more vitamin D, and we were ready, and it was necessary. So I'm excited to come here today and talk to you guys about some kind of like custom tools that I made for myself for specific purposes, but really within the overall intention of giving myself a visual cue and kind of like an if this then what. And since it's custom, this is very much like the way my brain works, coded. So like, will these tools be something like specifically that are good for like you guys? Not, potentially not. I'm not going to put this up to where like you can even get this exact template because I made it for myself. I didn't make it for you guys. But I also want to share it with you guys because I hope that it could maybe empower some of you to like let this like jog your own brain of like, oh, what's this like problem area that I've been wanting to XYZ, and how could something like this potentially be something that helps me do that more? So that's why I'm here to share today, and I have a lot more to come. So like, go check out my social media and like shorts and like stuff like that, because I did do like a 30-day challenge, posting challenge on my Instagram, which was like fun. It was insightful, but like I don't know, go check out those videos for like some of the updates and like how it was going. But I'm excited to talk Gab here today, so like let's just get right into it. I gave my dogs a greenie after I just let them out before filming, and I'll put that at the end of the episode because they got a little feral. I was hoping it would kind of like tucker them out, like the combo of going outside and then the greenie, and I was right. So good on me, look at them. Okay, so if y'all didn't know, yes, I am autistic. I'm ADHD more specifically, but I am autistic. So yes, there is like a trope that exists that like almost like flowcharts are like good for autistic people. And ever since learning about my autism several years ago, because I basically diagnosed myself anyway, I had all these ideas for different like flowchart type of like visual tools that I could make that would help myself in the day-to-day, like literal daily tools, but I needed the time to make them. And because the way I envisioned them were like so specific to myself that it was going to take time to lay out what I actually wanted it to look like, how I wanted it to function, and then of course like actually putting the visual piece together. So like printing it out, having the printer, like laminating it, and then like putting it where I need it. So like I remember I had this idea for one that would go in the bathroom for like right after I wake up, and it would be like these different versions of like a morning routine. Like, okay, here's how much energy I have, and then pick your morning routine and like just follow it. And I did try different versions of doing this on my phone. I've tried like different apps, different reminder type things. None of it ever ended up working for me, because also I can't be too rigid. So that's where like I'm kind of glad that I didn't end up making any of the tools I originally thought of, because those wouldn't have been sustainable options, and only through time have I kind of learned what those even need to look like for myself. So the other day, it was like a week ago, I had a busy weekend and like week, or like, I don't know, busy period of time. And so I woke up Monday morning and I'm like, I'm not gonna like make myself do a bunch of stuff today. I'm gonna chill, blee, blee, blah, blah. So I think I even like make a coffee early, sit down in my office just because like there's the most sun in there at times, especially in the morning. But I'm also like, what do I want to do? Because like I get bored very easily if I'm not like doing something, like producing something, making something, or completing some task. And so maybe that's, you know, going back to my unhealthy productivity mindset, but like, you know, that's a story for another time. So I sit down in my office and I'm kind of like, I don't really like, I had nothing I was wanting to read at the time. I was feeling in a very book slump for a minute there. I'm not now, that's like totally changed, but anyway. So I sit down at my desk and I'm kind of like, what if I made tools that would help me today? Like scrap all the initial ideas I had for myself that I was gonna make someday as soon as I had time. Scrap all that crap. And like, what do I want to make today that would help myself today? And so the first one I came up with, and it was actually kind of based off my therapy session. So I like just started back up with my therapist because she was off on maternity leave. And in my first session back, like I didn't mean to talk about any of this, but like we ended up talking about what was getting in my way of having my version of like an evening routine. It's always about the routines. Tell me you're neurodiverse without telling me you're neurodiverse. A 31-year-old struggling to make and keep a routine for myself. It's tragic. But anyway, so this was like partially inspired by like therapy, but also like by my previous ideas in the past. And so I sit down and honestly I pull up ChatGPT, no shame, try and come at me with that, I don't care. I sit down with ChatGPT and I pull up, like I have a creative projects folder where I've told it to be like my personal assistant for like getting things done quicker within my creative projects. So like I'm always like the idea creator, but like help me do some of the things that are timely, like research or making something. And so really what happened was everything you'll see here is like what I came up with. However, I used ChatGPT to actually make what this tool is for me now. So I ended up titling it Choose Your Next Move. So this is on there too. It functions as a transition support menu. So the way I kind of wanted it to act is like I come home from work or from a social function or from XYZ or it's just been a long day for whatever reason. And it's like I'm ready for the wind down, and yet my brain might be still like caught up in the day or caught up in whatever was happening, and I can't even think about what I need right now. So choose your next move. So I ended up having it separated into energy like levels. So I labeled them, the first starting one being totally drained. That's like where it's like you just had the worst or like longest day ever and like you can't even think. Like you probably haven't eaten, you haven't sat down all day. What do I need to do? The next one being not too bad. So that's more just like, okay, your typical maybe day that was rushed and like, you know, you do need to take care of yourself, but like you're not completely brain dead. And then we have feeling okay, which is, you know, a nice change of pace. Like this is like the everyday good day. Like not too bad is the everyday like less than great day. And then feeling okay is the everyday like pretty good day, you know what I mean? And then the last one being, let's do this, literally all caps, let's do this. And that's of course like we're feeling prime, like this is like we're ready to take care of ourselves, like we have some extra time or energy to do extra things for ourselves. So, like I said, this is a transition support menu. So the way I wanted to use it is like, let's go to the totally drained, because this was what I was talking about in therapy, and kind of like why I made this was, okay, what gets in the way of doing what you need to do for yourself when you get home? And for me, that's when it's like, it's been the kind of day where like I said, I probably haven't eaten for real, like not a real meal or anything. I may not have even like sat down barely, except to like pee. That type of thing. And that's not like good or normal. Like, I'm not saying it is. I'm not trying to glorify that. I'm really not. But they happen. And I need to set myself up for success when they do. So for the totally drained, I ended up having to add little like qualifying statements to just kind of like help me think where my head's at. Cause like sometimes when you're brain dead after a long day or socially fried or like whatever thing that's really like taken all the life from you, is sometimes how I say it, you can't even think, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? I don't know. Like, don't ask me that. Don't make me make a decision. So here's some qualifying statements. So like for totally drained, let's say I'm sitting down on my bed after work or after insert thing, and I recognize that I'm totally drained, but like that's it. And then this is like in front of me and I can pick it up. And the qualifying statement says, what would help me feel 2% safer, softer, or more here? Like present. And so like I put things that could help me kind of like instantaneously. Because then once I get out of that like totally drained feeling, if I want to continue further, I can go on to the not too bad and like keep working my way up if I want. Or I can stop here. Like this is enough to go to bed and like still feel like I took care of myself when I otherwise would have skipped a lot of these things. And then probably gone to bed, still pretty drained, woke up the next day, drained again. Like if I can't the sooner I reset myself, the more restoration essentially I can give myself in my downtime. And so I like the idea of having this like laminated and like where I'm like stopping at home. So I had talked about in therapy, well, I'm always changing my clothes as soon as I get home, like often because my clothes are technically like genuinely dirty from work or from whatever thing. And I don't want to like lounge around at home like in my dirty clothes, because also like I'll get stuck in the clothes and like then who knows what's gonna happen. And like I'm probably not even comfortable, so like I'm always gonna change my clothes when I get home, like from one of these when I would be using this. So it just even prompts me to like put on house clothes, like, or pajamas obviously, but like if I'm not ready to like go rinse off for the night, I don't want to put on my pajamas, put on a robe, or like put on house clothes. That was something I talked about in therapy too. So like I said, these are supposed to be like instantaneous, like wash your face, like get a little snack, turn on some music or a podcast, like something that'll almost like take my mind off so that I can just do what I needed to do for myself that will make me feel better. Excuse me. So for not too bad, like then let's say we're like, okay, we did the few things that like helped us get out of the totally drained. So house clothes, wash face, have like an element drink, that's like electrolytes, music, podcast, breathing, grounding, rest on purpose. So that could even literally just be like sitting there with myself. Not too bad. What am I forgetting that my body or brain might need right now? So, you know, like I said, this is kind of coming home on the normal, like less than perfect day, or, you know, like not ideal. So I probably would love to rinse off. Like that totally resets me. I need to probably have a meal or at minimum some protein. So I put meal or protein. That's where it's like, yeah, I could just say snack every time. I could just say food, eat something. But for me, I don't want to think about that. So when I put snack in the totally drain, I put like a cheese stick, or I'm sorry, a cheese wedge, like emoji, and a banana. Because those are two things I almost always have in the house that I can grab quickly and will temporarily sustain me. And it's gonna make me better off. So I didn't put just eat something, I put meal or protein. And then, you know, you'll see how I kind of like more specify things for myself based off how I made this. And that's where it's like, I could go on and on. It doesn't really matter. This is about me. What I'm trying to say is that you can then make it about you. Take any of these ideas or any of your own ideas and make your own perfect tool. Like ChatGPT, honestly, it's not creative enough for me. Like that's where I'm always like, okay, you can say that like it's gonna take over and like shit like that and like get rid of all these like art jobs, and I'm like, dude, it doesn't have the good ideas. But when it works as my assistant, and I just like, that's where I was like, the way it wanted to like categorize things, I'm like, no, just color code it. Just color code it. And you know, so it added this little color code up top, and I approve the colors and blah 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 blah. But like, it was trying to make it so much more complicated. It doesn't have to be. It can be as simple or as lavish as you want. And I just think that's like so incredible with like what we do have available to us nowadays, the things we can make or do for ourselves that add sustainability to our worlds. And like, I think that's beautiful. I think it opens up a lot of doors for people who've maybe felt a lack of resources or tools in their lifetime. And I think that's awesome. So just be a little bit more open-minded how you could use things, or, you know, go about your life. You know, you can change any day. There's no set anything. So you can tweak any of your routines or norms or rituals or habits anytime. So something that I've been like struggling with lately, so this is the second tool I made. Coffee break, pause. Good coffee though. So I've always felt like for like years now, even pre-learning about my neurodiversities, like as soon as I got done with hair school, I started at a salon where I was working 3 12-hour days a week. So I worked full time, but it was like all at once. And then I had a lot of free time outside of work. I say all that because I was like basically brain dead when I was outside of work because I was so drained. However, I was technically having free time. So I was like, I would forget what I wanted to even do. Like something with ADHD or a lot of neurodiversities is the out of sight, out of mind complex or ideology. I don't know, whatever. So like if something's not like either what you're doing daily and or put in front of your face daily, you probably aren't gonna keep doing it. And it's very frustrating. It can be very frustrating. And there's so many things I love to do and that I get serious enjoyment out of that I don't even remember that I like doing. And I think that's like some sort of weird, sick joke. Like that I think something about the internet and smartphones like in our hands at all time, like we go straight to the phone instead of thinking of anything else that we could do instead. And that's something I've been breaking for myself for a long time. And like in the meantime, I don't want to go back to that. Like by getting on social media and stuff more, especially during my posting challenge, it was leading to me like, oh, I have a couple seconds, let me just go get on Instagram and scroll. But like, I genuinely don't like scrolling. I scroll for about 4 posts and I get annoyed every time because 2 ads have already popped up or they're already like pushing me stuff that I don't want to see. And it's only like the certain times that I start scrolling that it's actually like seeming to get me, so, you know, but basically I knew that's not what I wanted to become my norm again. Not that it ever really was, but like I really, like, let's not. So I came up with, I don't know what I was calling this before, cause like I let it kind of help me come up with the name for this, like prompt me to kind of like, what do I want to call this, blah, blah, blah. I ended up calling this my free time fantasy menu. So, subtitle, choose your own delight. The Whimsy Index. So once again, I did some color coding. You'll see that here. And then it's if you can't see my autism, it's here in a bar chart, or I mean, I'm sorry, just a spreadsheet essentially for you. This is just like a, you know, set of columns and rows here, some cells. So I have it as amount of time up top. So I wanted to like start with, if this is going to be something I skim when I have some free time and I want to do something I enjoy, I'm going to start with how much time I have. So we went with under 30 minutes, under an hour, or over an hour. And that could be a whole chunk of time. That could be a whole day. But I wanted to keep it simple because hardly ever am I just having a whole half day or whatever to even like put something like that. And because there was like, I was coming up with a lot of ideas for things that are a little bit more like planned out, like not just, what do I want to do today? And like, you know, pick. I did add a little box down here that said, that I called when there's really room to roam. And so that's some more of like the getting outside the house type of like bigger activities that I do like to do, and I want to like be reminded of if I'm considering what do I want to do. These are things I like to do, and like sometimes it's things that like I don't do all the time. So I know at some point I had stuff on here that was like, you know, I'm not doing it often, but when I do have a chunk of time and it's the one time a year that like this is applicable, that I could or would want to do that, I want to be reminded of it. I don't want to forget the one time a year that makes this sense to do that. Like I'm thinking of like make Christmas cards or spring cleaning. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like something that's seasonal or timely, I'm not even going to think about, but I don't want like, basically I wanted it included. So on the other side, we have it based more off like activity or engagement level. So we have cozy, engaged, active. And then of course by the time constraints, and then some of these do repeat because they are like applicable for different things, but that's where like I came in. Stupid ChatGPT was trying to like put head to a coffee store in every column, I swear. And I was like, bruh, no. like yes, I like to do that, but I don't need to read it every time, every box. And that's where like I came in, like I gave it the initial list. It did prompt me with some other ideas. I personalized all of it to myself. And that's where I made both of these things in, I bet it ended up taking me max an hour per sheet. That's my guess. And like, yeah, to be fair, I had put some thought into it before I actually sat down and did it. So we'll maybe add some extra time in there for brain power, but using AI resources that I have to make these made them actually accomplishable for me instead of just something that I was saying for years would be nice. And I also in the past didn't even have a printer or any of those things. So like, yes, there's lots of barriers to entry here to like still make these and to have the option to make things like this for you. But also you can use a notepad. You can, you know, like there's so many ways to do things that are I don't have a laminator. I like bought those like sheets that apparently stick together, and I haven't tried them yet. I'm sure I'm gonna mess it up. So, you know, and I already like ruined the first ones of these I printed out. Like something got put on then that was wet. You know, nothing's perfect. I had the feeling and thought during both of these where it's like, oh, I could keep tweaking. Oh, I could keep going. I could keep refining. I could keep blah, 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 blah. And it's like, no, I'm going to go ahead and make it. It feels right now. While I use it, I'll learn what is or isn't right, and I'll tweak it next time around. This, like, it doesn't have to stay this way just because I made it today and I put it in laminated sheets. Like, it doesn't mean anything. So I'm really proud and happy to like have gotten to this mindset. I used to be so like, it's all or nothing, and if I'm doing it once, I'm doing it right the first time, and blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just like, it's not always right. It's not always the right answer. And I also then, I haven't made the third one yet, but I then, after I made these, and then I had some downtime, like the next time I had some downtime, I was like, you know what else I want to make? And I think I'm gonna call it something like, oh my gosh. Like, wait, gosh, what did I call it? Like for when you want your hands to be busy, essentially. Keep my hands busy, like menu. And then like the first, right after I kind of like considered that and I thought of something, AKA nails, like doing my nails, that could be on that list, I went and did my nails, which I'd been putting off because I never think about it in the right moment. And it's so funny, like how many times we can think about something not in the right moment, and then we don't think about it when we do have the time or energy to do it, and then it doesn't get done then, and then how many times do we have to think about it before it gets done? And I'm sick of wasting my mental power and energy on thinking about something 800 times that I could have done when it was needed to be done. And that's where I've always struggled. I've always struggled with that. But that's where I want to start empowering myself to make the tools that make me able to do that. Because I'm capable of whatever the fuck I want. Quite literally. But I have to set myself up for success. And that's where I think I've failed in the past and where I see lots of new possibilities for the future. So that's really exciting. I'm really excited. I'm having fun with these. I'll keep showing, like if I come up with new ones or if I tweak them or if you guys have ideas, like let's gab about it, because this is stuff that like there's no one right way to do any of this. These are what's gonna work for me right now, period. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited for what's gonna help, what I'll come up with and do in the future that will help me even more. And like, that's exciting. I hope that you find like that feels like it energizes you in a way that you could empower yourself to like change your life in a very simple way that has max benefits, max like consequences. I don't know, that's not the right word, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm going to be trying to keeping these more regular. We will see how it goes. Wish me luck. But the thing that I do think I'll be talking about next for sure, and I wanted to kind of tease it because I've already started it, is talking about this artist residency idea that I saw on the internet from someone else. When I talk about this, they will get full credit. But I want to talk about an artist residency idea that you can do for yourself, and how this isn't the first time that I've done it for myself, but how it's inspired me to do them a lot more. So I don't know, I'm excited for what's to come. I hope y'all are doing good. How did winter treat you? And what's on your mind? I'm here for you. So like, you know, tell me how y'all feel from my words, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help. I have on my It's Getting Dicey show, the community hour, I have a helping you happy column where you can ask for advice, kind of, or just ask for support. That's really what it is. It's not about advice. It's just reaching out when you need somebody, and I'll be there. So that's always available. I got mad love for y'all, and I hope you get some sunshine soon. So it's been great gabbing. I hope you have the best day. Mad love. Bye. Watch me get my dog's greenies. Uh-oh. Oh god. Alright. You guys want greenie? Oh, whoa, okay. One at a time. Light. Whoa, sit. Whoa. They never are this feral. Oh, pretty? Yes! Treat for you guys.